Hello and welcome back to the channel, I'm Jay. And in this video I wanted to show you some of the pickups that I've got over the last few weeks to add to my game collection. It wasn't that long ago, if you've seen the video on the channel where I talked about my Vinted addiction, and I covered a whole host of games that I picked up on Vinted. In fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago. But don't worry, there's no overlap. These are all brand new games that I haven't talked about before. A couple of decent sized stacks, and I'm trying something a little bit different on this video, as hopefully in the edit you're finding. So if you like this kind of view, I'm going to try and insert sort of game footage behind me as I talk about each game. Then let me know and I'll keep it up. If not, then we'll go back to the previous format of having a static background. So let's get started. Let's jump straight in with my first stack of games. Now some of this stuff has come from Vinted, again, shock horror, and some of it's from CEX. I think that's basically where everything's come from. So I'll take you through what I've got. I've got some really interesting pieces. More modern for the most part, I think, in this collection, but I have got a nice collector's edition in here to show you as well. So stick with me and let's get into the games. So my first stack is a Vinted pickup. I will tell you kind of what I paid for these stacks as I go along, but I'm not going to sort of top them up or anything. That's not really the point of this video. So this is a selection of Xbox One games. I paid £14 for these, but the main reason for it was to pick up the first one, which I'll show here, which was Gears 5. Now I have played this through to completion. I played it on Game Pass. I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. I still don't think the newer ones are as good as the first trilogy, but I'm old school. However, I bought it because I am a big Gears fan. I've got all the other Gears games in physical, and I wanted to add this to the collection. At the same time, I picked up a few other games in a bundle. So I also picked up Dishonored 2, and you'll remember not long ago I picked up Dishonored 1. I haven't played this series, so I'm looking forward to giving those a go. Now this one I've heard is really good, and I think again another underrated title, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. I also picked up Dying Light. Again, I did play this back in the day. I think I had it on digital again, thoroughly enjoyed it, thought it would be a nice one to have in the collection. And I think the new one's supposed to be pretty good as well, so I might try that out. And then the last one, I did give this a go back in the day. I owned it and sold it pretty swiftly, which was Dragon Age Inquisition. I've never really got on with these games, but I thought I'd give it another go because I know that's a popular series. So at some point, I'd like to give that a whirl, and we'll see if I can get myself into it. So that was my first pickup, and as I said, I paid £14 for those, so I was pretty happy with that. And then we'll move on. So the next pile I paid, I think I've got a real steal on these, to be honest. I paid £8 for these games, and there are a mixture of PS3, Xbox 360, PS4 and Xbox One. So let's start with the first two in this collection. I'm going to show footage from the latter, but I got two of the Homefront games on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. I'm pretty sure I paid Homefront back in the day. I'm fairly confident, but I definitely haven't played the new one or the newer one. So I'm looking forward to giving those a go. So that's Homefront and Homefront The Revolution. You'll also remember from a previous video I picked up the two Infamous games on the PS3. So I've also added to that collection with Infamous Second Son on the PS4. Again, not a game I played a lot of on the PS4. In fact, I'm not sure I've actually started this one, but I heard a lot of good things. I know it's a really great series, so looking forward to giving that a go at some point. This next one I'm not sure about. I'm not quite sure why I picked this up, to be honest. I think it was just because it was so ridiculously cheap, and that's Prototype 2 on the PS3. Again, I think this is the better of the two. I did play the first one and was underwhelmed, but I think this one got better reception. If you played this one, let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll give it a go in the future. It will probably sit on the pile of shame for a while, I'm not going to lie. I know nothing about this next title, but again, I was just picking up super cheap games from this individual. It looked interesting, and that is a game called Fracture. Like I said, never played it back in the day. In fact, ironically, the case is also fractured, so that probably needs replacing at some point. But yeah, Fracture on the PS3. Looking forward to giving it a go. It says in the back here, reshape the battlefield, reshape the battle, based in the future, 2161, and it's all about cybernetically enhanced forces in battle. So sounds interesting, so we'll give that a go. And then the last one in this set, again, Deus Ex, this time Human Revolution. Not a series I got into, again, back in the day. I heard lots of great things. It should be absolutely up my alley based on some of the visuals, so looking forward to giving that a go at some point in the future. But yeah, crazy to think that all of that was £8 So if you haven't checked out Vintage yet, like I said in my last video, what are you doing? Little NES title here for you now, and this one on its own cost me £8. Unboxed, as most of my NES games are. Really don't have the funds to be to buy them all boxed at the moment, but maybe in the future we'll convert a few. And that is Kung Fu. Now this is a game that it's a bizarre one. I've had this like long-standing memory from back in the retro days of a fighting game, very simple side-scrolling sort of karate game. Well, obviously Kung Fu, not karate, given the title, but you get the idea. And I never knew what it was, and I came across Kung Fu, and I thought, I wonder if that is the game. I wonder if it's the one I remember. And I picked it up, put it in, and it is. It's absolutely the game I remember. It's very, very simple. I was thinking about covering it on RetroQuest, but I'm really not sure there's that much to say about it. But if you're interested, let me know, and I'll do it. But yeah, so Kung Fu on the NES, and that was £8. It's the only NES game in this set, and it's probably the oldest game. Well, it is the oldest game in the bunch here. So I'm going to leave the collector kind of editions tool towards the end. So I'm going to pick up this second stack here. Now this was a CEX pickup, which I went to recently, and it was £26 in total. And I picked up 4 titles, a mixture. I'm really pleased with this again for the price. So I picked up first of all PS4 Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I didn't play this back in the day. In fact, I've yet to play Uncharted 4. So I'm looking forward to picking this up, but I heard good things and wanted to have this as part of the set. I think I now own all of the mainline Uncharted games, including Golden Abyss on the Vita. Then, just to complete my Watch Dogs collection, I picked up Watch Dogs Legions on the PS5. Now, I could have picked it up cheaper on the PS4. I didn't pay a lot for this, to be fair, but I wanted to have it on the next-gen console, because to me that was going to be the best way to play it. So Watch Dogs Legions. Now this game, I actually added to my list following a video I watched on YouTube where someone was talking about kind of hidden gems or underrated games, and this one was talked about heavily. I remember it coming out and just disappearing without any real mention, and I watched some videos about it. It's not my kind of game in terms of the turn-based combat normally, but it's Marvel. I love all these characters, and I'm keen to see what that's all about. So I picked it up and we'll give that a go. And then the last one for this particular bundle was Mass Effect Andromeda. This was about £1.50. I think this was the cheapest thing in the set. I picked it up to complete the Mass Effect collection. I know it didn't review particularly well back in the day, but I think it was one of those that kind of afterwards people thought perhaps we'd been a bit hard on this. So looking forward to giving that a go. So £26 for those. And then I've got a bit of a pile of 360 games here. So this is again back to the Vinted well. £9.50 for all of these, and there is 6 games in total. The first 3 I'll put up all together because they're all part of a series, and I did play the first one and I think a bit of the second one in this series, but I've never played the pre-sequel, if that might be a giveaway, and that is the Borderlands games. So Borderlands 1, played that cover to cover with friends, absolutely loved it. I think Borderlands 2 kind of came around quite quickly after that, and we played it, but to be honest, it was so very similar that I just really couldn't get into it. And then I know that this kind of completes the set here, but the pre-sequel, again, I never really played. Now, I don't own Borderlands 3 yet. That's on my list to pick up at some point, as and when I see it for a good price. So Borderlands games were the first part of that bundle. I then picked up a game that I did play back in the day and I thoroughly enjoyed. I bought the Epic Edition of Bulletstorm. Now, I know that's had remasters and it's even gone VR, although it didn't get received very well. But I really enjoyed this back in the day. It's a lot of fun, kind of silly, over the top, gory, and because I was really into Gears at the time and it had the included beta invitation for Gears 3, I was all over that. And then 2 games again from a similar series. I know I played the very first Red Faction game, but I don't think I've played these. So Red Faction Guerrilla, still sealed, interestingly, which was kind of crazy. I will open that at some point because I'm not bothered about keeping games sealed. And then Red Faction Armageddon. So pick these 2 up, and all in all, that bundle cost me £9.50, which again, sort of ridiculous. Last little bundle then before I get on to the 2 collector's editions that I picked up. So again, this was a CEX pop-in on one of my lunch breaks. First of all, I know this game is probably one of, if not the worst in its series, and a real letdown and a low point for the Tomb Raider franchise. But it was Tomb Raider, the Angel of Darkness. I did play this back in the day and I owned it. I don't remember thinking it was that bad, but I didn't complete it. Absolutely didn't complete it. So pick that up. I'm just picking up the Tomb Raider games basically to kind of build my Tomb Raider collection, which brings me neatly onto Tomb Raider Underworld. Now I did play a little bit of this one back in the day, quite enjoyed this one, never finished it. I very rarely finish games, it's probably coming across now, but Tomb Raider Underworld, I've added that to the collection as well. Picked up Doom on the Xbox One, which again, not my kind of series traditionally, but I know they're so popular that I just wanted to have it in the collection. I love Doom Guy, and I want to give this a go at some point. It's one of those games I think a few years time when the kids have kind of settled and they're not as interested in Daddy, then maybe I'll put that in and give it a go. And then the main reason for this pickup at all was this game. So Guardians of the Galaxy on the PS4. I do own it digitally somewhere, I think, from one of the kind of games monthly drops, but I wanted to have a copy on physical, and I hear really good things about this. And I love the series. Again, I'm into my Marvel characters. I heard a lot of positivity around this game when it came out, so I'm looking forward to actually giving that one a whirl. Paid £16 for those 4 games, which I thought was pretty reasonable, and I was quite happy with that. So I want to get on to these last 2 games, and I will insert some B-roll alongside this footage as well. So first of all, it's the Uncharted 4 Collector's Edition. So I don't, like I said, don't own this physically. I think I do own it digitally. This one comes in a really nice case. It's in really good condition. It's got a really smart steelbook inside. So I'll kind of do some close-up shots of this, and there's a nice art book in there as well. So pick that up because who doesn't want the Uncharted games in their collection, and what a nice way to have it. I paid £13 for that on Vinted, so again, pretty happy with that. Could have got the game itself a lot cheaper, but I wanted the collector's one. And then this one, last one, was a CEX Splurge. I paid £60 for this, and it is Zelda Majora's Mask 3DS. Now I don't own Majora's Mask on the N64. I do keep an eye out for it, but it's quite pricey, even cartridge alone. But I thought this would be a really interesting one to own. I saw it in CEX and thought, yeah, got to have that. It's in really, really nice condition. Again, I'll insert some B-roll just to kind of explain what's in it. But you get the game itself, obviously. There's like a poster in there, I think. There's a pin badge, which is the Majora's Mask. And then not quite sure what the other object is that's in there. I'm just looking on the back to see if it specifies. I don't know. I'll insert some sort of text on screen to explain what in the world this additional one is. It might be an art book. Again, it's quite hard to tell from the cover. And that is my month's worth of pickups. So I've got a few other bits on the way for next month, a couple of interesting things to take you through there, so look forward to that. I am thinking about how I focus my collecting habits, because I am kind of a bit sporadically buying things, as you've probably noticed. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, by the way, but I'm thinking space is going to become an issue fairly quickly if I don't have a bit of a focus. So what I'm thinking of doing, and give me your ideas here as well, one of my ideas is to effectively look up the top 25 rated games on each of the consoles that I own, and I've got every console, mainline console from Nintendo, Sega, Sony and Microsoft since the NES. So I'm thinking about the top 25 games on each console and making that my focus, and maybe even with the cartridge-based ones looking for box copies over time. So if you think that's an interesting idea and that's something you'd like to follow, then let me know and I'll pull that together. If you've got another idea on how to kind of focus the collecting habit, then let me know, because there's so many games out there, and at the moment certainly 360 appeals. PS3 super cheap if you're collecting those, and those prices are only going to go up. I don't have many PS1. I find those quite hard to come by in the UK, especially because the cases were so fragile. But anyway, that's my monthly pickup video for this month. That's July 2024. Let me know down in the comments if I've got some bangers here, some games I should prioritise over others. Are there any hidden gems in there that I haven't talked too fondly of that you loved back in the day? And if you've got any thoughts on my collecting focus for the future, again, let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe and do all the good stuff that YouTube likes us to do. Share the video with your friends if they think that they'll like it, and I will see you in the next video.